I think it's time we talk about AI. Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. And throughout the history of Hollywood, pretty much all ideas and concepts, scripts, pitches have been original ideas that have come from a person. And I use the word original kind of loosely because right. And with that said, over the course of history, we've had time to set up laws, regulations, and just general sets of rules of how we would determine how we attribute credit for these ideas and original concepts, which by and large has held up debatably well, and depending on who the person that came up with the idea first looked like. But in recent years, the entertainment industry, particularly Hollywood, has witnessed a significant shift with the introduction of artificial intelligence, or AI. Traditionally, the industry thrived on original ideas and concepts generated by human minds. However, the emergence of AI has brought forth a new era where non-human ideas and concepts are being generated at an astounding pace. And this development has raised numerous issues and sparked many intense debates within the industry and in society as a whole. And considering that whole last intro portion was written by AI, this has become a large issue because the lines are becoming very much so blurred over what's real and what's fake, as well as who to attribute credit to and who technically gets the rights to that usage. Now this video is going to be a little bit of a doozy, my friend, because we're going to be breaking down why AI has been taking over the entertainment industry and how we're pretty much all going to have to deal with it because it's not going away anytime soon. But with that said, we're going to get into some of the problems that AI has been causing as of recently, like namely having an AI generated track be nominated for a Grammy, and looking into whether the use of AI in Hollywood and entertainment is more of a detriment to the industry or something that can be a really great opportunity moving forward. So if any of that sounds of interest to you and you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Why not? I post all things pop culture commentary and TV show reviews, but not necessarily right now because of the strikes. But while I may not be talking about shows right now, I do talk a lot about fashion. Well, I don't talk about it. I just really have been giving fashion recently on my other social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, all at Imurgency. So if you want to see some of that, see some looks, if you will, then go follow me over there. And while you're at it, don't forget to leave a like because it helps out so much with the YouTube algorithm. But let's get into the conversation. AI in entertainment. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, it's a tricky question and there are pros and cons. But to start, let's talk about some pros. Well, actually, let's level the playing field here. Let's make sure we both understand what AI or artificial intelligence means. So according to Google, artificial intelligence is the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translation between languages. In movies, AI is shown to be this sentient robot thing that takes over the world. Are we there yet? Is that how it is in reality? Not right now. The most popular uses of AI right now in the common sense for like everyday people are generally being used to make people's lives easier. So doing menial tasks that people just don't want to do or don't want to be thinking about. So think about the rise of ChatGPT, where you can use AI to write papers for you, answer complex questions, have it do quick research for you, and things like that. And then more recently, AI has been expanding to more things. So there's AI that can create unique and original images based on text that you input. There's AI that can help creators edit videos. I use this one AI editor, Opus Clip, sponsor me by the way, to edit my long form videos into shorts, and it's generally pretty helpful. There's AI that can make songs. In the entertainment industry, AI isn't always necessarily bad in the sense that it can be really helpful for day-to-day tasks, especially when it's used as something complementary with actual human design, or more so human talent in the entertainment lens. So helping writers brainstorm and get the grunt work of like research and background on different things that they may be writing about, creating meeting agendas and more of the administrative work like that, as well as helping actors and agents develop, edit, and send out their audition tapes and other things that help them book and succeed in their roles. And that's just the base level use of AI. Of course, there's more of like a technical standpoint where people are using generative AI for like movie scenes and stuff like that, but we'll get into that a little bit later because that steps into some of the downsides of AI use in entertainment. But the main thing with artificial intelligence right now is that it's not going anywhere. Like, it's not as if we can just click a button and like undo all of the progress in technology that's been developed with AI and just be like, all right, never mind, let's put that back in the box and we'll go back to how we were. Like, no, things are only going to progress more and more. And whether you like it or not, artificial intelligence is going to become more and more of an integral part of our day-to-day lives, for better or for worse. And that's why it's really important that we evolve with it. And when I say this, I feel like the general sentiment around evolving with AI is very like tech bro, but I feel like one thing that like tech bros and like people that are super into AI and stuff don't really highlight or talk about as much when they say evolving with AI. That means also while we're being like, oh my God, AI is so cool, let's use it for all these things, we are simultaneously establishing a protocol in laws and regulations around how we attribute work and how we separate AI generated work from organically generated work, as well as establishing protections for people's work, jobs, and creativity so that both can effectively integrate into the landscape. And because that isn't the widespread case across work industries, you're seeing things like the strikes that are going on in Hollywood right now that are trying to get those regulations and protocols in place so that real people aren't being taken advantage of. And because these protections aren't a reality for people right now, we've run into some major issues. And specifically within the entertainment industry and within Hollywood, we've seen the rise of AI, especially within the music industry. I think by now we've all seen the different AI versions of our favorite artists singing over the songs of other artists or even completely unique songs. Like there are videos of AI Ariana Grande singing over songs from SZA's SOS. You have Patrick Starr, the starfish, not the beauty guru, singing and wailing over Giveon songs. And I'm pretty sure there's an AI version of the Presidents of the United States covering WAP, which is wild, like wild boots. But it's also funny, it's a good hee hee ha ha, but at the same time that can get into some tricky territory because you're using these people's voices and many times they're using them for profit or to capitalize socially or professionally, which is wrong because it gets into tricky territory over the use of an actual person's likeness. One of the most recent and dramatic moments with AI in the music industry was when an AI generated song using the voices of The Weeknd and Drake was allegedly entered for the 2024 Grammys. Yes, the annual Grammy Awards. And apparently according to the Grammy's new AI guidelines, music that contains AI generated elements are eligible to be nominated for a Grammy. And that announcement from the Grammys earlier this summer had people in a tizzy because they're like, what? How can something that's been AI generated be eligible to be nominated for a Grammy? To which they had to clarify, because like I said, someone submitted a song that was using the voices of The Weeknd and Drake, but wasn't actually The Weeknd and Drake, for a submission. And eventually the CEO of the Grammys, which is funny to say that there's a CEO of the Grammys, clarified that we're not going to be giving a nomination or an award to an AI computer or someone who just prompted AI. That's the distinction that we're trying to make. It's the human award highlighting excellence driven by human creativity. So he goes further and says that while it's okay if some voices have been enhanced by AI, like for example, if like someone gives a performance and is in the studio and like uses like an AI tuner to like automatically tune their voice, that's fine. But doing what the other person did and using someone else's voice and likeness to create a song unorganically would not be allowed. And the implications of this will be felt, and actually it makes me kind of curious because let's think 5 years down the line, there is likely going to be an AI influencer at some point. I would not be shocked if there was an AI music artist out within the next 5 years. So will that mean that that artist would not qualify because they're technically not human? Like this is just wild conversation just to have through and through. But getting back to The Weeknd and Drake, the implications of this were definitely felt because it brings into the question the usage of someone's likeness, specifically the use of their likeness without their permission, whether that's okay or not, and whether that's okay to capitalize on that both financially and professionally. And of course, you know, when it rains it pours, so that's not the only time that a celebrity's likeness has been used without their knowledge through the use of AI for someone else's monetary gain. Enter Stephen Fry. Now, if you don't know who Stephen Fry is, that's okay because I'm not the biggest like actor person. I know I talk about TV a whole bunch on this channel, but I'm not a actor person. Like I'm not great at like knowing actors' names, especially actors that are older. And Stephen Fry is an OG. He's an English actor who's famous for his roles in a bunch of older movies and has appearances and cameos in some more recent works. Basically, he's been in the industry for a long time. And why we care about Stephen Fry in the context of this conversation is that he recently came forward at a convention and spoke on how the use of AI has directly impacted him and his bag, as well as the general dangers of AI. In his case, his voice was being used without his knowledge to narrate an audiobook. And you guessed it, it was all through the use of AI. He states on the record that yes, it shocked me. They used my reading of the 7 volumes of the Harry Potter books, and from that data set, an AI of my voice was created and it made that new narration. And that in itself is wild and impressive that an AI can do that, but also it's scary that people can use AI to do that, you know, and capitalize on it without the person who you're taking the voice from even knowing. And this is where major issues arise. Because like I said, while it may be cool that they're able to reconstruct his voice to read a completely different book through like analyzing how he spoke for 7 other audiobooks that he was paid for and knew about, this was done without his knowledge at all. And he, as far as I know, did not receive a dime of the money from that audiobook. And that's just not fair or right, because like if you're gonna be using the man's voice, one, give him credit, pay him for that, and you also should have gotten the rights. And I'm not sure about the contracts between the publishing company on whether he like signed his usage away for a certain amount of time, but let him know that that's happening or get his okay first, you know? And that leads us to the ethics of AI usage in entertainment. And the big question is, if artificial intelligence reimagines and repurposes your likeness and ideas, is it still yours? And should you be compensated for that usage? But it's a difficult conversation, but in my mind, yes, because I feel like in order for that AI to be able to repurpose or reimagine that content in your likeness, it would need to be fed or be shown original content that was from you. So at some point before it reimagined it, it was your likeness and intellectual property, which brings us to the next question. How are we defining intellectual property nowadays? Well, according to our best friend Google, intellectual property is a work or invention that is the result of creativity, such as a manuscript or design, to which one has the rights and for which one may apply for a patent, copyright, trademark, etc. And if we use the Wikipedia definition, it gets a little bit more specific, saying that intellectual property is a category of property that includes intangible creations of the human intellect. And because it explicitly says it's creation of the human intellect, does that mean that AI technically can't own intellectual property? Or does that mean that artificial intelligence itself is in part intellectual property because artificial intelligence came from a human's creation? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer and that's way above my AdSense pay grade, but I just personally believe that people should be compensated for the use of their likeness, even though it may not be them exactly doing the action. Because at the end of the day, the draw and appeal of that usage is due to the human's notoriety and talents. Like speaking personally as a creator, when I work with brands, there's often like a clause in our contracts where they talk about usage and how they're able to use and how long and in what ways they're able to use the content that I create for them and use my likeness to distribute their product. And that's always a really important part of negotiation, because the more relaxed a creator is with the use of their usage, the more freely and prominently the company is able to use said creator to promote their product, even after the campaign is technically done. Like imagine Emma Chamberlain works with like, I don't know, Starbucks or something, and they pay her for one campaign, one video that goes up, and that video is promoted for like a month, but she doesn't have strong terms of like how long the usage can be used for. It can be like 2 years later and Emma Chamberlain's face is still plastered on like a Starbucks billboard, but she's not getting paid for that usage. She only got paid that one time for the video sponsorship. But because the language around the usage duration and the way in which the content would be used was not super strong, they can and will go off and run with her face to go off and promote it even longer than the campaign was initially set out for. So they're basically getting free promo without having to pay for it. But getting back into the entertainment sector, it's sort of the same thing. Like the reason why people stream those AI songs by different artists are because they like that artist, not because they inherently like the AI, meaning they wouldn't be listening to it to begin with if it weren't for the name recognition, the celebrity artist's name and likeness that is being attached to it. Same goes for movies and audiobooks. The reason people are going to go see a movie or buy an audiobook with a specific person reading, with a specific person narrating, is largely because they like the actor or the voice actor. So when it comes down to the usage of AI and whether or not those people that they're using the usage of should get paid, without them, they would not be making money in the first place. Even if it is technically not from them or not their work, it is their face, it is their image, it is their art and legacy that these people are trying to profit off of or not share that profit with. You know? And even for people that aren't as notable as the stars, like extras on TV shows and movies, which have been known by a certain company to actually have their faces scanned and likenesses allegedly used and repurposed digitally, in different future scenes should still be compensated for that work. Like you can't just have someone work once, scan their face, and then use them consistently for years on end without them being paid for that. Because while it may not be them actually acting it out, it is still them. You know? Now why is all this even used in the first place? Well, it's because exploitation is cheap. It's cheaper and it's going to become more efficient than using actual live actors and working with real talent because of the reshoots, recastings, and all the other things that come with the industry. And it's really unfortunate, but the people at the top care more about their bottom line and unethical efficiency than the livelihood, morality, and rights of the people that got and keep them in those positions. And like I said, AI usage in the entertainment industry is one of the major reasons why Hollywood is on strike right now. And it's also why it's so important to be supportive supporting the SAG and WGA strikes that are going on right now, so that people in the entertainment industry can have fair wages and don't have to worry about their likeness being exploited. Because just because this is happening in the entertainment industry doesn't mean it's also not going to leak into other traditional industries as well. Because like I said, we're only going to have to learn how to integrate more and more with AI. And if we don't have the laws and regulations to effectively coexist and integrate AI seamlessly into our society, there are going to be bigger problems. I'm not a proponent at all for the complete eradication of AI. I feel like that's very counterintuitive because it is a very useful tool in our lives. But what I do support and encourage is the fair and ethical use and integration of it. People could be treated fairly and not be exploited and be paid for their work and likeness. I know that sounds crazy. That sounds so radical. Just pay people, please. Yeah, that's my take and synopsis on the use and rise of artificial intelligence in Hollywood. I've said a lot, now it's your turn. Let me know what you think about AI in general, as well as its use in the entertainment industry and in the world in the comment section below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I want to hear all your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching this video if you made it this far. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future content that I have coming out. Follow me on my socials at Imurgency on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to leave a like on your way out. But other than that, y'all, I've been Imurgency, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.